We are live. What up, people? What up, what up, what up? Ooh, full house already before we even got started. So, today's going to be a little bit of a special day. After we did last stream, we pretty much got contacted by Hasbro and the Hasbro license sponsor, and they want to give a giveaway to you guys. So, we're going to be doing a giveaway this evening. Not right away, though, but we will be doing a giveaway this evening. And all we ask, the prerequisite, is that you have a valid email address, that you have a valid postal address, that you're over 18, and that's pretty much it. You don't even have to be a subscriber, because I don't really care about that. Essentially, what we're going to do is we're going to ask a question at some point in the podcast. You guys could just spam the answer, and I have someone that's going to collect all the names. We're going to randomly pick one of those names, and then the person who wins just contact us through Twitter. So I guess you have to have a Twitter account too, but contact us through Twitter at Protoman, and we'll hook you up, and we'll let you know what the prize is later on this evening. But yeah, so you're gonna get a prize, and it's gonna be pretty cool. It's gonna be a little bit of your choice, because we're gonna kind of give you a gift certificate, and then you could pick the Transformer licensed related product you want. Pretty much. So, aside from that, how are we doing this evening? Hope everything is great. Since we talked, there was a few announcements officially through Hasbro. A few things got leaked online, this and that, but otherwise it was a fairly uneventful kind of week, more or less. Nothing too important worth mentioning about. But yeah, so we already have some questions here. Where are those Beast Wars Season 2, 3 characters in Kingdom and some Season 1 characters? Well, Kingdom right now is going to be primarily Season 1 stuff, except for, like, obviously there's going to be some Hasbro Pulse repaints and everything, and that'll be kind of a different entity. But otherwise, in terms of molds, it's going to be Season 1 stuff initially. What did you do at Hasbro? I did copywriting. Copywriting is essentially the technical term for packaging and bios, and I wish I had one near me. Example here. So this is actually a terrible example, but usually when someone would have a bio or something, or if there has to be like some kind of naming conventions or stuff like that, I was in charge of that kind of stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much what I did. The long short answer, tech specs, which don't really exist that much anymore today, unfortunately. Yes, I did see some of the Wonderfest stuff. I will report it tomorrow. I had a Patreon listener question I wanted to get to today. It was a really good one, so that kind of got priority for the daily news and everything. But otherwise, yeah, it will be covered tomorrow. A lot of really cool stuff. Wonderfest is always an amazing show. It's one of those like bucket list shows for me that I really would like to go to. Why does Studio Series Blitzwing have a different jet mode than we see in the Bumblebee movie? Because sometimes these designs are made long before a toy. The sad truth is almost all movie designs are made as CG models and put in the movie first long before they really settle on a toy design. And that's why there's so many times there's differences between the two. If you don't have a Twitter account, I don't know how to really help you there, because that's the most secure way for me to know that the individual that's contacting me is the person through YouTube here. Like, otherwise, like, I could give out an email, but it could be anybody. I could get spammed by a million emails of people going, I'm that guy who won. So, at least with Twitter, it's a little more easier to do that. It's easier to confirm. Will we ever get a live-action Transformers show? Maybe one day. If obviously the budget would be a lot less because the CG, and in all honesty, I'll be honest with you, I don't think you want a live action show, because I think it would be very human centric, and because the budget would be so low for the CG, That it would be more about the humans and less about the robot action. I mean, already, like, just look what already exists in terms of the fact of what's going on with, let's say, Siege, and how they could only really have a budget for all CG for 6 episodes. We have a super chat question. Oh, it's not a question. It's just, I received my pit of judgment today. Did you grab one? Unfortunately, I didn't. They were very expensive, and everywhere that I looked to find one that was even slightly cheaper for Canadians, it would sell out. But I'm not too worried about it, really. I always feel like a lot of these, like, pseudo San Diego Comic-Con like kind of exclusives, they kind of taper off in value. I mean, I get a feeling best case scenario, I'll be paying exactly what it was, was worth, essentially, a couple of, months after the fact. I love it. I think it's amazing. I think it's absolutely amazing. I love the 86 movie, but there's so many things to buy right now, and that's really one of those things where unless I could find it for a good price with cheap shipping, I'm not going to, pull the trigger just yet. Do you think we'll get a second wave of Studio Series 86? Yes, we do. We will, 100%. Studio Series 86, in a lot of ways, is Hasbro's way to buy time for other live action incarnations and stuff. What's up, Aaron Archer in the house? Aaron Archer's in the house with us today. If Disney buys Transformers, Proto-Man Head will explode. I don't think Disney will buy Transformers. I think Hasbro, if anything, I look at Hasbro looking at Disney as, I don't want to say like a rival, but like as a professional rival. And I don't think Hasbro is weak enough for Disney to buy them. I could see Disney buying Mattel. I could see Disney buying a lot of other toy companies, but I can't see Disney buying Hasbro. Hasbro is still too much of a juggernaut. Disney would sooner buy Bandai, but then Bandai had a merger with Namco, so now they're on better footing now too. So ultimately, in the end, I don't see it happening. Disney's got money, but Hasbro still has their own pride and their own backing of money, so I don't think they're too worried about that yet. I really don't. Again, guys, if I miss any questions, just repeat them again, because sometimes stuff just scrolls up way too quickly, and stuff gets a little nutty. Will they ever use Voyager Scorn from the last night? If they find a place for it, I think we'd sooner see a new mold of Scorn before we'd see those old molds be used again. Really, I don't think there would be a reason really to use them. They kind of got their mileage out of that mold already. They used it for that San Diego Comic-Con set and everything. So apparently Stratosphere is one of the latest figures to suffer from GPS. That is terrible, because Stratosphere is, I'm looking at it right now, is one of my favorite movie toys. Anyone who saw my Instagram and Twitter, I was recently talking about Movie Highbrow, which was, I love that mold so much. That's like a super underrated movie mold. And then someone pointed out to me, like, I have 2 of them, because I love that mold so much that back in the day I bought 2 of them. And then someone pointed out to me that now it's like a $60, $70 toy. And I'm like, what? And then it's like, oh yeah, it's true. It was a late wave toy. Didn't have a lot of distribution. Not a lot of them are out there. Kind of difficult to get today. But a great toy. Great toy. They used that for the Bakon Obsidian mold. They retooled it quite a bit. And they used it for Power Dive, which was the GDO release also. But the original, in my opinion, is the best one, because it has that World War II mask and, the P-38 Lightning, Lockheed, amazing stuff. Thank you, Chris, for the super chat. Ask a question, Chris. I know people like to donate money, but ask a question too. Make it worth your while. I feel bad just getting donations if it's not conversation worthy. What would be your ultimate choice for a person outside of Transformers to write for TFs, whether it be for show? Well, when it comes to writing for Transformers, I always say, if you have material that you've done, send it in. Send it into IDW, send it in. Show them what you're capable of doing. Send in scripts. The worst thing that I get from people is they go, oh, I want to write Transformers. And I go, well, do you have anything written? And they don't have anything. So it's kind of like an artist, not having a portfolio and then sending it into a comic book company or Hasbro or something. So you have to have kind of like a written portfolio stuff, and not necessarily Transformer writing, but just any writing in general. You got to have that kind of stuff. If you don't have anything down, I mean, what do you got to show for it? Do you play any video games? There's a whole room. You think this room is crazy. You should see the video game room. I have a whole room dedicated to video games. Whole room dedicated to it. I am a ridiculous video game person. Michael Koo, what up, man? Anyone who's wondering why some people have icons next to their names, it's because they're members of the channel. If you want to join and be a member, you get little special icons next to your name. The longer you're a member, the icons change. They go from like Bumblebee to Hot Rod to Rodimus. And I think the final one is the Matrix of Leadership. It's really cool stuff that we have here. Do you like Gigawatt's robot mode design? Yeah, I like it. A lot of people were complaining about how it's too square. But I don't think they've ever seen a DeLorean in real life before. That is what a DeLorean is. It's a very square 80s vehicle by GMC. So, excuse me, AMC. So it's something that, I don't know, it is what it is. Hey, Protoman, when will you get official reveals for Studio Exit line? Do you think that Hasbro... Okay, here's the thing with the official announcements of Studio Series 86. All of that stuff, guys, we would have known already. We would have known all of this already if it wasn't for the world that we're in right now. We had 3 major conventions that we would have had this year totally wiped off the map and canceled because of the big V and everything that's going on in the world right now. If those conventions would have happened, we would have already known this product. Normally, Hasbro, they wait all year for something like San Diego Comic-Con to get that big booth and have all that, you know, God, was it like 100,000 walk-in traffic walking by their booth to show off their centerpieces and new product? I guarantee we would have seen the Ark already. It would have been the centerpiece of their booth. They would have been showing it off. John Warden would have been there at the time, you know, talking about how great the Ark is and everything. But because pretty much why, you know, San Diego Comic-Con didn't happen led to no reason to now rush and show all the product and have big displays and dioramas. Now they could do it at their own pace and slowly reveal everything and do something really good. Make use of essentially their social media presence. Now they could hype up their Instagram, their Facebook, make people tune in on their Twitter. It's kind of smart what they're doing, but at the same time, obviously you have individuals that are stealing the toys and doing early reviews, and it's going against them. Penance, and you know why. Thank you, Joseph, for the beautiful choice of words for the super chat. Are you going to be painting your shirt? Looks like a smock. Actually, it's one of our sponsors. This one here is the Symbiote Studios Snake Eyes and his wolf. His little wolf dude, Timber. I'll mention more about these guys in a moment. But yeah. You know who will be taking over for John Warren's place? I believe they already said it was Lanny. They already said, I think. I think it's already publicly known at this point. They said it in one of the streams. The only thing better than working at Burger King are these great TF plushes. Yeah. Ain't that the truth? Is it true that Tauntaun is stealing new action figures from Hasbro? That's a long story. Long story short, there is individuals who pay off poor Vietnamese factory workers to steal products so they could review it quickly. And then they take that product and they spread it out to other reviewers and they profit from that. It's pretty much a bunch of scummy stuff. Let's put it this way. I did a video about it. I didn't want to have to name it. I didn't even want to do that video. But people pushed me to it, so I was like, you know what? It's time people know what's going on behind the scenes. Pull the curtain back. I ordered Iron Trans Star Saber is a good figure. Do you have? I don't have these third-party Star Saber stuff, but I have a lot of official Star Saber stuff, because Star Saber is one of my favorite characters. Hey, Proto Man, I pre-ordered the Earthrise Coneheads, but it got delayed, but Amazon canceled my pre-order. Here's the thing with that. Amazon's been canceling a lot of pre-orders because a lot of stock has not been arriving in time to keep their pre-orders. And what Amazon does is they cancel your pre-order, and then if you go back 2 days later, they might actually get the stock, and then they put it up for basic add-in-cart order. So I suggest, Mark, if you want, keep going back to the listing of the Coneheads, and they might actually be in stock, and even though you pre-ordered it and it got canceled. It happened to me. It happened to me. I pre-ordered some deluxe. Actually, I have one right here. I pre-ordered this bad girl right here. She got canceled from Amazon, and then I ordered it instead from Toys R Us because Toys R Us is way better, I guess. And then 2 days later, Amazon has these in stock to add to cart. So yeah, that was a big waste of my time. But point is that keep going back. Keep going back. How can you keep pre-ordering figures if scalpers already swiped it during the pre-orders? Well, I always say scalpers wouldn't exist if people weren't paying those prices. Like if someone buys a Transformer that's a retail of $19 and sells it for $50 and someone pays that $50, then scalpers will keep doing it. But, you know, so it's like don't feed the animal, essentially. If you don't feed the animals, they won't come. Any chance for more Unicrons will be available? They'll definitely use that trademark again, but will it be what you want in your mind? That's a different question. Do you think the release of Thrust and Blue Streak will be store exclusives or mainline? That's probably going to be exclusives, unfortunately. I don't really think that has a place in the current rollout of slots for it to be mainline, unfortunately. You think Studio Series Dino will be a Ferrari? I hope so. Ferrari is very difficult with their trademarking and stuff. They are extremely annoying when it comes to toys and Ferraris. Even Hot Wheels has had problems with them for years. By the way, the reissue of Combiner Wars Devastator, I believe, has been pushed back to January 2021. That's good to know. So people who missed out on that will get a chance. They don't have to pay the scalper prices on that. Do you Gigawatt's new tinted windows? I mean, I guess you're asking about Gigawatt's new tinted windows. I prefer the tinted windows. I find that the interior detail of the transformation of Gigawatt is kind of ugly, so I find the tinted windows kind of hide that a little bit and makes the final product look a lot nicer in car mode. What will the next Transformer show be? We shall see. If you're counting Netflix, it's obviously going to be Earthrise, and then after that, that which would be Kingdom. But we're going to see obviously what happens in the future, because I feel that Netflix is going to be a strong reflection of what the future of our storytelling might be if it is successful. What new characters do you want to get in Studio Series 86? How about characters that never got decent representations on an official, capacity? Let's see Jazz. Wouldn't we like to see Jazz? Wouldn't we like to see Jazz done right, finally? I mean, there's a lot of great Generations-esque Jazz toys, don't get me wrong, especially that very first one with the little boom boxes, but I would like to see Jazz. I know Jaws D would like to see Jazz, for sure. Even though he wasn't like a big part of the movie, he was just a Moonbase casualty, in a sense, even though he survived, but I would like to see Jazz. That'd be a cool one. Maybe a decent Blaster, just because he's my first Transformer, but I mean, they don't need to do that right now because they just refreshed the trademark with the reissue from the G1 reissue line, so they technically don't have to do Blaster. But I mean, that's another one that'd be really interested in seeing. Definitely. Are we getting a new Radeon, or is it third party? I guess you're talking about Raiden, Steven. That's third party. We're supposed to get a Masterpiece, official Masterpiece Raiden, but again, because of what's going on in the world, that got not canceled but delayed, and there was this huge exhibit that was going on in Japan called the I think it was called the Railroad in the Sky exhibit, where they were going to show off everything, and the world we have right now happened, and everything got put on hold. Do you think we'll ever get some new Insecticons? Look at trademarks. Stuff is coming up. Bombshell, Shrapnel, Kickback. It's coming. There's going to be more in the future for sure. Maybe they're going to be munching on the outside of Autobot City. Did you see those third-party Beast Wars vehicle forms made in collaboration with the fan artists? Yeah, I saw them. The Waspinator looks really good. Looks really, really good, but I don't know why. I always envisioned Waspinator being a jet. I just always felt that that's kind of where he belonged, especially with that Starscream connection. And his Transmetal toy, too. The Proto Man, what do you think of the next two Beast Wars masterpieces will be? That is a super chat from Chris Harvey. Thank you, Chris. Logically, what I would want is different than what logically it will be. I feel they're gonna finish the season 1 guys, specifically the Maximals, probably Rhinox, maybe Rat Trap. If not, Transmetal 1 Optimus Primal. Those are the ones that logically I think will happen. What I would like, give me Pterosaur. Pterosaur needs a good toy desperately. Give me Scorponok. Scorponok needs a good toy desperately. Like, those two I would rather see, but at the same time, I know what makes more sense. Pterosaur will not sell as well as, let's say, a Rhinox or a Transmetal 1 Optimus Primal. So there's what makes sense from a business standpoint, but then there's what is probably going to happen ultimately in the end too. Do you think it's time for Transformers to return to 2D? Considering the way 2D is done now with flash animation, I don't know. Would it be beautiful cell animation like it was with, let's say, Armada? Or would it look more like the Cal Art design that we have today, like Thundercats Roar or some of the others? I mean, it's kind of like the way that 2D animation is done today. I mean, look at the She-Ra series and stuff like that. I don't know. Yeah, maybe the rise of the TMNT guys, but even then, think about it, right? Like, that would be more like animated then. I think that would be more like animated, and if that's the case, if we're going to have something that looks like animated, then I'd rather it just be animated. You know, I'd rather it be that continuity. You know, it's something that, man, like, it's hard to imagine considering the way CG is now. Excuse me, not CG, 2D animation is now, and how cell animation pretty much is a dead, lost art in a lot of ways. So, we'll see. Do you think Metroplex could appear in Studio Series 86? Well, that would definitely be the first time the Studio Series 86 line has gone outside of Leader Class, unless they want to make a small Metroplex. So, that would be interesting. But I wouldn't... number one, I wouldn't hold my breath. Number two, Studio Series is all about movie accuracy. So would you have a non-transforming, broken transformation cog orange Metroplex? I don't know. I don't think that would work. All right, guys. So let's talk about for a moment the giveaway, since we have a good amount of people here right now. We'll get to more of the questions in a moment. So essentially, we have a Hasbro licensed giveaway. Thanks to Symbiote Studios, which is a Hasbro licensed company. They make a whole bunch of Transformer plushes. They make awesome Transformer t-shirts. And they also make, and I have to put it on my phone here because I don't have them all. They make like really cool pins and stuff and everything like that. There's the Soundwave shirt. Here's also all their plushes also come with a matching pin, which I think the pins are really cool, to be honest. Again, this is all officially licensed by Hasbro. So essentially, symbiotestudios.com if you want to check out their stuff. I already have a promotional code for you guys if you want to get a deal. When you go to checkout, just use promo code ProtoMan. You get $5 off your order. But today what we're going to do is we are going to do a giveaway, and one lucky person is going to get a $25 gift card, which pretty much gets you anything you want in the store. And no matter where you are in the world, we're going to cover the shipping on top of that too. So it doesn't matter where you are in the world. You get like $25 gets you one of these guys. $25 I think gets you like both pin sets. $25 gets you the shirts. $25 and there's a lot of other stuff too. It gets you like if you want to get the Snake Eyes one with Timber, or if you want to get the Soundwave one or the Optimus one. I mean, my personal favorite, I love the Bumblebee. The Bumblebee is so cool, and I just love the pin. The pin is really cool on that one. There's so many cool things that you could get from them. So what we'll do is I'm going to ask a question later in the segment, and then you guys could spam the answer. So it'll be a semi-easy Transformer question. You guys could spam the answer. I have someone that's going to be collecting all the names that are correct of the answer, and then we're going to randomly pick one, and then whoever wins, we're going to announce their name, and then you have to contact me through Twitter, and then we'll just take it from there, and I'll give you all the information that's needed. But essentially, all you need is have a legal registered address, legal registered email, so that you could sign up pretty much to the website, so you could pick what you want, because it's your choice. You get to buy what you want with this, and people, and essentially you have to be over 18. That's it, and have Twitter to contact me essentially. So, and you'll get some cool prizes, free stuff. You don't have to worry about the shipping. We'll cover it. If you're in Jamaica, if you're in USA, Canada, the far reaches of Canada that are on the moon. But later on, we're going to ask a question, and hopefully you guys can answer it, and whoever gets it right, we're going to announce a name. But yeah, let's get back to the questions for now, and then we'll get to it. I only use Twitter, guys, by the way, because Twitter's the best way to confirm that it's, that's that people. So that's what I would suggest more than anything, okay? It's easier to because I don't want people faking and trying to, it was me, I was the one who won it. Twitter's a lot easier to do that. Hey, Dan, did you get the PS5 or Xbox Series X for the future? Could we see a next-gen Transformers game, hopefully? When it comes to video game systems, there's an old song that I always sing, never buy a console at launch. If you actually look it up, Brentalfloss did that song many years ago, and it is super true. Even the Nintendo Switch, didn't buy at launch, waited a year, and already there was people in the secondary market who buy at launch, and then they sell it, and they sell it at the same price that the original is, but now it's no tax, they don't care, so I save already with Canadian taxes, I already save like 75 to 80 bucks right there just by buying it secondhand. Refurbished, never buy a console at launch. I know that it sounds cliche, but you're spending so much money on something that's literally like a car. The second you drive it off the lot, over time it just price goes down. But yeah, I bought my Switch used, never had any problems with it. It is what it is. Do you love Transformers animation? It got me into Transformers. Well, what got me into Transformers was the '86 movie, so technically animation. See, one person here got my consoles basically 2 years after launch, and it's always cheaper. I mean, obviously, look, Nintendo product holds its value longer. That's just how Nintendo is. But in general, that's not always the case with all the others, especially PlayStation and Xbox. Hey, Protoman, started to recollect the Transformers animated line. Which figures would you recommend I should get first? Well, whenever you collect any line and you want to complete it, I always say collect backwards, meaning get the rare figures out of the way first, because that way it'll be less of a headache later on as time passes. So, I mean, I would obviously suggest stuff like Samurai Prowl, Blur is starting to get up there in value, and of course, obviously the Japanese exclusives like Blackout and Hydrodive, Bumblebee, and Windblade Optimus Prime. But of the American stuff, definitely get Roadbuster or Ultra Magnus if you care about that. Some of those, try to get those out of the way first. And then of the good figures, like the ones that I really like, I mean, I love Sentinel Prime. I thought he's really good. I'm just looking at them right now. The Hot Rod, kind of biased on that one. The Bakon ones, I really like. Blitzwing was really good. Blur, again, he's one of the more expensive ones, but he's really good. The Cybertronian Ironhide, the RC, a lot of them are really good. Animated has always been a really good line. Always been a really good line. It's let's try to show it to you guys. They're all there, all the animated toys. But always been pretty stellar. Shockwave's a good one too. If you could get Purple Wave, the purple one, that's a really good one. Do you Do you have to read the Collectors Club stories in order, or can I just read Shattered Glass comics and the Pro stories? Well, Shattered Glass is kind of all over the place because they have written stories, they got the comics, they got like the comics that came with the box sets. There is a continuity there, but it's kind of all over the place. Especially considering it was written by multiple individuals throughout the years, Jesse and Ben and a lot of the other guys. So there is a timeline, but I mean I don't want to say you're not missing much, but it's like they don't really reference each other. Like I find that even though there is stories, they don't really reference each other, so you're not really missing much because they were written by different people without really intending to reference other stuff. Who is your favorite Shattered Glass character? Well, with the exception of Shattered Glass Hot Rod, that's a tough one. Never really had to think about that. Let's go with... I mean, I really just like Shattered Glass Megatron. I always thought that looked like really cool, that design. I got to work on the custom class at TFCon for the head sculpt. I don't know. That's a tough one. Never really had to think about that. Shattered Glass personally has never been like one of my favorite continuities. So I've never really thought much about it. But, I mean, I have all the figures. I'm just trying to think, like, you know, Starscream's kind of cool, and the Shattered Glass Cyclonus has funny colors. I don't know. I do not know. That's a tough one. How is the Unicron trilogy figures on the secondary market? Do you think currently a good time to start building a collection? Yeah, a lot of them are really cheap. Obviously, there's some outliers on the outside. Some non-show characters that had limited releases, like, let's say, Energon Ultra Magnus, or what was the other one that was really pricey that I saw recently? I think it was the Tidal Wave, but the green Tidal Wave. So, like, some of them are pretty pricey. But in general, a lot of them in the secondary market, people don't really want them. So you could usually find them pretty easily. Although that could change throughout the years. That's the thing. You have, it moves up, and then the younger generation gets nostalgic for that. But there was millions of them out there, too. So that's another good thing also. There was a lot of them out there. They're very strong toys, so they don't exactly lose their parts or pieces. Yeah, you might have, you know, characters without their mini-cons or energon weapons, but it is what it is. Why hasn't many fun publication fictions, including the pros, have been collected into trade paperbacks? Because Fun Pub's kind of bad with that? I don't know. It's just, it's no more. Like, they never really had an intention to kind of put that in a book and sell it. It was just more like stuff was part of the club. And if you were part of the club, it was online stuff that you could read. And then there was stuff that was put into the magazine, if you will, if you want to call it that, the magazine comic. And now Fun Pub's no more, so it's really just, you'd have to talk to the former people behind that, whether it be Jesse or Pete Sinclair or something, Brian Savage even, you know. But, you know, that's a whole other story. Hey, Protoman, since they're giving us an Arc Titan with robot mode, and they also made Omega Supreme the Arc in animated, but do you think we should... do you think that? But do you think this should have been a thing since G1? No. I like the idea of the Ark being a ship. I like the idea of the Ark being just it. It's the Ark. It's like Noah's Ark. I like it just being something that took someone from one place to the next. In Transformers, not everything has to transform. Sometimes a ship could just be a ship. I mean, that all started with animated and the War for Cybertron game, where they made the Nemesis be Trypticon, and changing that whole thing. But luckily, that falls more into the Prime, you know, continuity, which everything got retconned. But you know, to me, I'd rather just the ships be ships. You know, like, I wouldn't want like the Axelon to transform, or the Dark Side from Beast Wars. Just let them be ships, you know? Like, the Axelon doesn't have to transform into Sentinel, you know? Like, it's crazy. But, you know, they needed a Titan class, and I guess they wanted to go with the Ark because it kind of made sense in terms of the time paradox story and everything that they're going with, where the Ark, landed on top of the volcano. It didn't crash into it. And thus it created a whole new continuity in the Beast Wars and everything. But yeah. Sorry if I miss any questions, guys. Is there a Transformer you think we should never get again? I don't think. I think that sooner or later everything has to get a trademark refresh if it's still kicking around. If Hasbro still wants to keep those trademarks, they still got to keep doing those. They still got to keep doing those characters. Do you think Pterosaur will be in Kingdom? I think so. I think so. Season 1 characters are kind of a lock, in my opinion. What do you think will happen after the War for Cybertron trilogy? I think I said this last stream. If the Kingdom stuff sells extremely well across all the price points and everything, we'll see more of that for the next trilogy. If it doesn't sell well, then it'll be something else. Whatever that'll be. What do you think has been more influential on the franchise, the 1986 movie or the 2007 one? 1986 movie, more influential internally within the Transformer world. A lot of stuff is referenced from the 86 movie, including the 2007 movie. But the 2007 movie was more important from a casual and mainstream kind of thing. 86 movie only fell on so many eyes. 2007 movie fell on a lot of eyes. A lot of eyes. So I'd have to say 2007 movie, even though I love the 86 movie a billion times more. Which Transformer character matches Bret Hart? Ooh, I don't know. That's a tough one. It would have to be someone that has a strong resolve, a real baby face, very technical wrestler. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. I've never had to think about that. Visually, I don't know. There's not many Transformers that wear pink shades and have a general pink color scheme that aren't female characters, unless you're like some Seacons or something. I could see Brawn. Brawn's more of a short, tough guy. Brawn is more like Jim the Anvil Neidhart. I could see him give him a goatee, I could see Brawn as as Jim. Thunderclash, I could see Thunderclash. Yeah, a little bit. I could see it with a heel turn. A little bit of a heel turn. Hot Rod got the screw job. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't think Nitro Convoy. Nitro Convoy is more of a race car character. You need someone that's more. I don't know. That's a tough one. I'd have to sit down and really think about that one. What Transformers toy line do you think is the best for new collectors to start? Masterpiece, Vintage, Studio Series? It depends what you like. If you're a new collector, what made you a Transformer fan? Did you get into it for a specific series? Like, did something catch your eye? And then you kind of take it from there. Because at that point, then it's just personal preference from someone who's kind of has it all. So, like, obviously I have my own preferences and everything. Who's your top 3 favorite wrestlers? And will we ever get a Transformers WWE crossover? Well, we'll start with the WWE crossover one. Right now, WWE is Mattel and sometimes Jacques Pacific. And unless Mattel lets go and gives it to Hasbro, which they did at one point. There was one point where Hasbro and wrestling were together as an entity. Again, what I just showed right here, this is a Hasbro Bret Hart, with heart attack action. But we'll definitely see. It really matters if Mattel kind of drops the ball. Because look, Mattel took the WWE license, did He-Man with it, and then they did that with Ghostbusters, and they did that with Ninja Turtles because they do stuff with Playmates. So it's really just a matter of if they drop the ball. If Hasbro gets it, there's going to be something at some point. You'll get some kind of, The Rock and Roadblock, or something. Who knows? Or they'll do some kind of crazy crossover. They'll do The Rock with Cliffjumper. Have that reuniting again after all those years. Give them the horns. But my top 3 favorite wrestlers, obviously Bret Hart. And then that kind of falls into like weird stuff because people will be like, well, who's this guy? Who's that guy? Like, I mean, I like The Rock. The Rock really like kept the lights on in a lot of ways for me for WWE. But you know, I like Dusty Rhodes from WCW in the early NWA days. I like the Great Sasuke from NWJP, Japanese wrestling, and we're talking like the 80s. Same thing, the Great Muta, that's Japanese wrestling. Love him. Again, a guy that you don't know who he is, but when you see him, you'll see a lot of video games homage him and stuff. Like very famous wrestler from that era. Man, there's so many. You're putting me on the spot there too, because like I know I'm gonna forget dudes. Like I don't want to leave out anybody. Like Randy Savage. Ooh yeah. You know, cup of the coffee in the big time. Off balance, on balance, everybody's ready. Black and white boots, but I'm not a racist. I love Randy Savage. I love Randy Savage. Rest in peace, Randy. Gone too soon. But yeah, that's a tough one. There's so many wrestlers. So many wrestlers. I got to meet Sergeant Slaughter. He was at a convention in Montreal. Super friendly dude. Put me in a headlock and we took a photo. I think that photo's somewhere out there. I don't know. Really cool dude. Really cool dude. He wore his hat and everything and his aviator shades. He kept the gimmick. Bruiser Brody. That's not a lot of people know about him, but that's another dude, man. That's another dude. Bruiser Brody. He could be like one of the dreads. You know, like the Dark of the Moon dreads with the dread hair. That could be Bruiser Brody. Undertaker. I don't hate Undertaker. I don't hate Mark Calloway. But he really is more of a gimmick and a locker room general. But I've never really... like, I love his entrance. But I'm a match guy. I really like watching matches and getting excited during the matches. And Undertaker, it's not about the matches. He's had a few good ones, but his percentage is more... You know, he's batting 1 out of 10 more than not. He'll get that one. He'll get that one really good match, but still 1 out of 10. What do you think of the Transformer Prime Predacon Risings will be part of Studio Series? Ooh, I don't know about that. I don't think so. That's a long shot. I really think that they're going to do Studio Series 86 while still milking in a few Michael Bay and Bumblebee movie molds here and there. Like, think about it this way. If we do those two lines, 86 and live action, for the next year and a half, we're going to have another live action movie by then. Or not live action, but at least an animated movie by then in theaters. And then you know what's going to happen. We're going to get tons of Studio Series based on that stuff. So I think that it's really just buying time in a lot of ways. In kind of like in the same way like how Car Robots was brought over in 2000 for Transformers 2001 Robots in Disguise to buy time until Armada could really be tooled and put out there for the world. So I really feel that that's what it is in a lot of ways. And hey, I mean, we're getting good molds out of something that's buying us time, so I'm not complaining. What video game would you like to see crossover with Transformers? Well, I mean, they did the Street Fighter X Transformer figures, so might as well finish it and just make a video game out of it. Have Hot Rod Ken and Chun-Li RC. You know, might as well do that. But the thing is, do you want to lean more on it being a fighting game, or do you want it to be an action game? I would lean more on fighting, just because I really like fighting games. But that's one way I could see it. They already have the toys. Might as well finish the job. But yeah. Do you think Studio Series A6 will satisfy G1ers? I think it already is. I think we're getting some of the best incarnations of those characters with modern engineering in a long while, short of Masterpiece toys. So, Mega Man Transformer crossover. As much as I would love that, that's a matter of Capcom wanting to do something with Hasbro and Takara. But the question is, who would be Proto Man? Would it be Hot Rod, or would it not be? With his little shades for Lookout Mountain, and the yellow scarf, or a yellow spoiler? We shall see. Mortal Kombat X Transformers? Oof, I don't know about that one. Everyone would just be like doing fatalities, just stepping on the characters. Then Mattel could have sold the movie rights to Universal. Yeah, well, that's Masters of the Universe is still in a weird place right now. I really feel that that's a brand that Mattel is still not using to its fullest. They really are just sitting on that. My question is, would they go back to Unicron Trilogy after they deal with Beast Wars? I think that soon, like again, if Kingdom doesn't do well, they'll pivot right away to something different, and Unicron Trilogy is a possibility. Especially if you look at the timing. You know, like the age group that grew up on Unicron Trilogy would be the prime age group in like a 2003, 2004, toy line to do that kind of thing. But if it sells gangbusters Kingdom, then they're going to want to continue that. They're not going to put the brakes on something that's making money. Hey, Proto, aside from G1, I'm seeing a trend where one of the most memorable Transformer shows in the last 3 seasons. Do you think we may ever going to get the next big Transformers canon? You know what? I really felt back in the day that the aligned continuity was going to be something, and they really were building, like, this is going to be the new G1 in a lot of ways. Like, this will be the ongoing universe that will be building, to be the building blocks in for everything. And then that all got kind of derailed, and then it's like, here's Cyberverse, Chapter 1, Book 1, Chapter, and then Cyberverse got derailed. Like, I don't think Hasbro right now is really settling down in one continuity. I mean, even when we look at Siege, like, Siege is its own kind of G1 continuity, but I feel that, we have 6 episodes, and then we're going to get another 6 episodes, and then with Kingdom, and then who knows, that might just be it. They might just end it at that, and then we're going to, like, have something that took, like, 4 years to get accomplished, and we're going to only really have 18 episodes to show for it. Is that a canon to be excited about? I don't know. It's sad to say that we've had more consistent continuity with IDW in the comics than anything else from animation, which is sad when you think about it, because animation really was the original bread and butter of Transformers. And the movies, well, what is the continuity from movie to movie, really, at that point? What happened to Cyberverse Deluxe Wave 2 with Prowl, Starscream, and Soundwave? They were never planned. There was rumors that they were supposed to happen, and we've never seen anything of it. I feel like it's too late in the game now for more Cyberverse stuff. I think they're pretty much done with Cyberverse. I mean, we're still seeing stuff showing up in retail for the first time without any warning, like a Megatron X figure from the One Steps. But in general, I think that's pretty much it for Cyberverse, as sad as that is to say. What would a Batman, the animated series, Superman, the animated series, inspired Transformer series look like? It would look like animated. 100%. It's animated. Isn't that just it? Animated is pretty much Batman the Animated Series aesthetic. That's Derek Wyatt infuses that Paul Dini, Bruce Timm style into it, And I'm not saying that Derek's ripping it off. I'm saying that he's infusing that in there for sure. The core spirit is in there. I started Season 1, Ep 1, and Issue 1 of the U.S. Marvel Comics earlier this year, and I confirmed that they're good for younger fans. Had a lot of fun with the cartoon, just plain fun. Time for Headmasters. Japanese or Rebirth Headmasters is the question. Animated was so good. Yes, it was. Animated was great. Hey, Protoman, do you think that the final 8 to 9 episodes of Cyberverse are a letdown? Not really. Again, the problem with Cyberverse is just because of the runtime. I feel that when you have to tell a story and you have literally 10 minutes, like that's your window. You have 10 minutes to tell a story, and it's like 30 seconds is already wasted with the credits, like the front credits and the end credits, and then you have like how a story is written. You build up the story of that episodic episode. Then you have the bulk of the story, and then you have the denouement, the end of the episode. And that's really only told in like 8 minutes. It's very difficult. It's very difficult. Cyberverse was good, but it was also something that I look at and go was kind of wasted potential. I like Cyberverse, don't get me wrong, But like Ray said, if they were 22-minute episodes, I think we'd be celebrating it as much as we would, let's say, you know, the Transformers animated. Joseph with the crazy super chat. Help me decide, Chipotle or Panda Express for dinner tonight. I don't know. I always lean more on the Asian food, but I wouldn't lean on Panda Express though. I'd go more to my local Chinese restaurant. But thank you for the amazing donation, Joseph. Why don't you put that $19 towards some really good Chinese food? I would, yeah. See, Josh and me were on the same boat on that one. Go with Panda Express, but maybe go with more like a local Chinese restaurant, like something really good. Because Panda Express, I only tried it once when I was in the States. Wasn't a fan. Give me some like beef and broccoli with fried noodles with rice, with some orange beef on the side. Now you're making me hungry at 8:50 at night. Ugh. That's what I want. Some deep fried wonton soup, some green tea, good stuff. Making me hungry. How about 100 chicken McNuggets? Oh man, Michael, you're killing me. I guess you saw that video too. For anyone who wants to know what Michael is talking about, there's a YouTube video which has Josh in it. Man, that video. That was recorded on a 3DS. I think that's my most proudest thing about it, was it was recorded on the 3DS's camera, because at the time I didn't have like an iPhone. Oh man. That breakdown cosplay was awesome. That was Mirai Baby. She's an amazing cosplayer. And her friend too does a lot of really good stuff also. Don't see enough of her anymore. Be cool to see her again doing cosplay. Do we think we will get a Quintesson Executioner in 1986 Studio Series? I honestly think there's going to be, like, a lot of the leader class stuff is scheduled to always have, because it's like everything has to be to scale, a lot of the leader class stuff is going to have accessories and small little pieces. So, totally, there's probably going to be, like, you know, Dinobots that are going to have Quintessa pieces, you know, because the Dinobots were rocking it on Quintessa. So, for sure, we're going to see something. What other Quintesson characters would you like to see? How about the Dweller in the Deep with his damaged face? The scientist. A lot of people don't know about that one. He has kind of an interesting backstory, very like, you know, Phantom of the Opera kind of thing. He'd be cool. He'd be really cool. A lot of people forget about him. I know that there's some really cool art in one of my Japanese art books of him, and like they kind of like remembered him. He was really cool. I thought we'd get an Earthrise Weaponizer Quintesson. Do you think we'll see an updated 2001 Optimus Prime figure in the near future? By that, do you mean Robots in Disguise, as in Fire Convoy? Is that what you mean by 2001? If so, maybe. I would like to see Fire Convoy again. I really like Fire Convoy. Fire Convoy at one point was like the greatest Transformer toy ever made. When he first came out in 2000 with Car Robots, like, man, people were losing their minds over that thing. Except for the chrome on the chest that would chip very easily. Would Transformers work as an audio drama? It's been done. Kissplay did it. Right there is Kissplay's CDs. There's the audio drama CDs of Kissplay. And some of them have even been translated, too, and subtitled online. It's been done. They did, back in the day in Japan, they had a thing where you could call a phone number, and Jazz, Grimlock, Bumblebee, and I want to say Hound, they would tell you stories over the phone, like Autobot stories, and you would be able to call those characters. So, like, radio drama stuff has always existed for Transformers. It's still very popular in Japan, even to this day, with smaller brands, but it's just not a thing that right now exists now in Transformers. But the latest was, again, Kissplay had it back in the day. What's more likely, seeing the movie Dinobots completed in Studio Series or the 86 movie in Studio Series? Movie Dino. Okay, you mean movie Dinobots as in the Michael Bay ones? Well, it kind of looks like Hasbro right now is pivoting to 86. So let's see what happens. And when you say completed, do you count Snarl and just his one little appearance where his head is sticking out, and then he's like getting shot at by the sweeps, and then he disappears? But I would say more probably just the G1 ones right now because that seems to be the focus. Maybe they'll shift back later on. But yeah. What are your thoughts on the IDW Transformers 2019 comic? Not bad, but I think that it's suffering from the same problems that the original IDW continuity had. It kind of has a slow burn. It's trying to find its place. I think that it really needs to have a good direction and a story. I don't want to talk too much about it because I don't know where people are in the readings of it. But I mean, there's some really good one-shot stories, like standalone stories are really good. The Valentine's Day special comes to mind. But again, that's also like, good writers, good artists. Like there has to be another, like, how do I put it? Like a good dream team has to come together and really push things forward. Like when Alex Milne and James Roberts got together, that was a direction that was pushed. Where prior to Alex and James getting together, we had Don Figueroa, and no offense to Don Figueroa, I loved him in War Within. I love a lot of the stuff that he did. But when Don was on the book, it really didn't have that much of a direction at that time. Maybe it's the fault of the writers. Maybe it was the fault of the editor. I don't know, like, who was steering that ship, really. But it's something where you just kind of have to have that perfect balance of stuff. Look, all of the greatest comic books of all time, it's always been that perfect balance of writer and artist. Sometimes the writer was the artist. But that's something that, unfortunately, right now, I'm not feeling. And that's just my personal opinion. Maybe you like what they're doing right now, but some of the stuff I'm not feeling right now. Just me personally. So we're going to ask the question. We're going to ask the question for the prizes, where you get a gift certificate. So the question we are going to ask today, and it's a very easy question. Very easy question. So just spam it, and my person will take care of the names, and then we will announce the name as the winner afterwards. But the question we're going to ask is in Transformers lore, there was a red seeker jet. What was that red seeker jet's name? So you could spam the answers, and we will collect all the people that answered correctly. And we will then do a raffle, essentially. Oh man, it's going to be a lot of work for my buddy today. Okay. Anyways, I'm going to wait until everyone gets that out of their system. I'm just going to go for a little drink. Josh, I think you asked a question also. I think I ask it again because I missed it. I might have to scroll up to it. Might have to scroll up to it, but you just have to type it again. Thrust was a Conehead Seeker. Kind of true, but not quite. It's totally Sideswipe. I'm just gonna message my one moment, guys. I'm just gonna message my guy because I probably should have asked something harder. He's probably going like, oh man. Oh, there's Josh's question. I'm gonna screenshot that. Let me screenshot Josh's question so I don't lose it if it gets pushed away. We will do the announcement of the winning name in 10 minutes. Because it looks like my buddy's actually keeping up. All right, there's Josh's question. Hey, Proto, let's say you make a Rodimus Prime themed burger for whatever fast food chain like Hardee's, BK. What would be the Rodimus burger? So here's, just before we answer that one, so when I worked at Burger King, before I left like in 2018, so in 2017, there was actually a Transformer burger, and it was called the Stacticon, and it was just the Stacker burger, but we had a special sauce that was used with it, which was like a pretty much barbecue sauce that you could use for your nuggets or whatever, the chicken tenders as we called them. So there was an official Transformer burger at one point. It was the BK Stackticon, which you could ask for 2 stacks, 3 stacks, or 4 stacks, which was meat, cheese, bacon, meat, cheese, bacon, meat, cheese, bacon, barbecue sauce. Back in the day. And there's actually, I think on the TF Wiki, I was the one who had to correct the entry or something because I actually worked there. But yeah, that was wild back in the day. It was almost like serendipitous. You know, I worked for Burger King, and then McDonald's drops the Transformer license and gives it to Burger King during Cybertron. Like they had Cybertron toys. These ones here. Oh man, you guys can't see it. They had those toys. Remember those ones? But yeah. Do you think we will ever see something similar to Ask Vector Prime again? Well, oh, I'm getting text messages. Who's this now? I have no idea what this... Anyways. I thought that was my friend telling me who the winner was. Think we will ever get Megatron? No, what was that? Ask Vector Prime. Well, that was done by Jesse from Fun Publication. So unless someone wants to step up and do that again with whoever will get the license in the future for cons, which I don't think that'll happen anytime soon, we'll see for sure. Would you like to see a Studio Series Infernicus toy? Well, I don't know. The last time I got Infernicus, the only reason why I was excited was because it gave me a Quintessa figure, which did very little. Infernicus was okay, but I mean, it's just a retooled, like, you know, the guys from Prime, so... I was thinking of getting a yellow cliff jumper, but what should I rename him? I have red Bumblebee, and that's called Ladybug. Well, yellow cliff jumper should be pretty obvious. Should be Yellow Jacket. Is Archer still on? Asks Tom Laney. Archer, are you still there, Aaron? Since Starscream is rumored to be in Kingdom, we will see Seeker repaints that haven't already gone. Well, since Starscream's also rumored to be in the RED line, I'm pretty sure we're going to see plenty of Seeker repaints there, too. Do we have our answer? Do we have our winner? I think we have our winner. I'm going to message the guy. Message the bro, yo. So, as I was saying, so whoever it is that's going to win, make sure you have a valid email address. Make sure you have a valid Twitter account. Make sure you have a valid postal address. Contact me through Twitter. And just let me know, hey. And we'll talk back and forth and get everything floating. And then you can buy some cool stuff. There's a lot of cool stuff. The pin sets, everything. The cool t-shirts. I love the t-shirts. The Soundwave one is on its way. I'll probably be wearing the Soundwave one next week. Freedom is the right of all sentient beings. Oh, yeah. And you got your Optimus with your pins. So, like, the gift certificate can get you one of these. Look how big this thing is. Look how, like, I have a big head. I'm a tall guy. I'm 6'1", almost 6'2". So, like, this is a big dude. This is a big dude, these things. They make good pillows. And also, it's very interesting, like, the fabric that's used. It's like a mink kind of fabric. Very nice minky skin fabric. You know, so cool pins, t-shirts, plush. Use your gift certificate. And the winner is, I just got the message now. The winner is Roman Shinling. And he said Red Wing. So Roman Shinling, let me know you're alive, Roman. Otherwise, we have to pick someone else. I'll give you a couple minutes, Roman. Let me know that you going, yay. Otherwise, we have to pick another name. We have backup name if needed. Roman Reigns. There he is. Okay, Roman, so contact me on Twitter, please. Send me a private message, and we'll get everything going together. All right, Roman? We'll hook you up with some cool stuff. Get some cool free stuff. And it doesn't matter where you are in the world, we'll pay shipping. You could be in Antarctica and we'll take care of it. And we're going to do this again next week, guys. Don't worry. But, doesn't matter because everyone here today, if you use promo code ProtoMan on symbiotestudios.com in their shop, you will get $5 off your order. So you could still get some cool stuff. Just use the promo code ProtoMan. symbiotestudios.com. Get a t-shirt. Get a cool t-shirt. Rock the t-shirts. Rock a cool studio series. Symbiote Studios t-shirt. Officially licensed by Hasbro. Or get the cool Bumblebee with the pins and stuff. Licensed by Hasbro. I love this Bumblebee just because he's side-eyeing. It's like... But yeah. Awesome stuff. So we're going to do this next week too, guys. We'll be giving away some stuff to people because, hey... It's some cool stuff. Some cool stuff to give to you people. As a thank you for all the love and support throughout the years. You don't even have to be a subscriber. I don't even care. You know what? I almost feel like subscribers don't even matter with YouTube anymore. It just matters if people show up. You know? Those numbers don't even matter. I mean, it's okay if you subscribe. At least it looks nice in the algorithms. Oh, hey. But all that really matters if you people enjoy, you know, the content and watch everything. I mean, I think joining and Patreon is more of a better way to show than even subscribing. And just enjoy sharing the content in the craziness. Let's get back to some questions, shall we? Where are we at here? Did you see the Netflix Nemesis Prime that comes with the Power of the Prime's Giza sword? Yeah, that's interesting that they included that. But you know what? It's not too much of a surprise because the last time we had a Nemesis, it was the same thing too, where they threw in some odd parts and previously existing pieces. So I guess that's just kind of their process in a lot of ways. Who is your favorite Headmaster? I always lean on Chrome Dome. I really like, I mean, if you don't count Titan Masters, because then there's a Hot Rod one. I always lean on Chrome Dome, but I really like Nightbeat too. But the funny thing is Nightbeat, I like him because of the Marvel comics, and he really wasn't portrayed as a Headmaster, even though he was one. He was just kind of his own thing, and that we never really had to deal with that. But I fall more on Chrome Dome. He's just kind of a cool character. Kind of that pseudo-leader character. Hooks up with RC in the cartoon. Gets a little dance out of her. What is your least favorite Transformer toy line? I don't know, the Go Bots, which was done in like early 2002, 2003. That doesn't really speak to me. I would say that one, I guess. It's not really my flavor. Did you get Earthrise Alicon yet? And if so, what do you think? I did not get it yet. But I will get it. I will get it. And it will be hype, I get a feeling. I really like the Thrilling 30 Nightbeat. Man, if you saw what the Thrilling 30 Nightbeat was supposed to be, it was supposed to have the jazz mold. It was amazing. Oh, we got a new Minicon recruit who joined. They call me Ranch because I be dressin'. Thank you for joining, Ranch. I be dressin'. Call me Ranch because I be dressin'. He's a Minicron recruit. Enjoy your Bumblebee stamp that will evolve as the months go by. I think Stephen Joyce has one of the new Evolve buttons, and we have new ones. These were all done by Taco Salad, who was an old-time guy in the community back in the day. He made a whole bunch of cool emblems and stuff. Who's your favorite? What is your favorite Transformer line, and why is it Rescue Bots? Rescue Bots, I will say, back in the day when I used to do toy reviews, probably was the most views I ever got for a Transformer toy line. But that's because I think I was the only guy that was seriously reviewing them back in the day. Because I was like, well, here's the character Chase and his G1 lineage and history as a throttle bot back in the day. I took it way too seriously. But I would have to say, I don't know, like I feel like Animated was a really good toy line. Beast Wars was a really good toy line. Like there was a lot of evolution in those lines. Beast Wars changed a lot of the game for Transformers, and so did Animated. Animated brought a lot of like masterpiece engineering to small toys that we would then see in later incarnations of toys. Who is your favorite Unicron trilogy character? That's a tough one, because there's a lot of really cool Unicron trilogy characters, especially like if we're talking even outside of the cartoons. Like, I love Duelor, the Minicon in the Armada comic books. Like, he was really cool, and like a lot of people like didn't realize how cool that character was. In the cartoons themselves, I mean, this shot here is the Unicron trilogy: Cybertron, Energon, Armada, and then in the craziness over there is all the merchandising. That's kind of hard to see, but I mean, there was a lot of really good characters. There was a lot of really good toys. I mean, I loved the way Rodimus was. I loved the way that Starscream was in Armada. You know, characters like Nitro Convoy in Galaxy Force is one of my favorite characters of all time. Like, of all time. So, you know, Excellion. A lot of really cool dudes. A lot of really cool dudes. Can't even... Let me... Chromia. Where is she? Chromia, a.k.a. Thunderblast. She was awesome. I liked her. What do you think is the worst Transformer toy of all time? A lot of people ask me this question. I always say the same thing. I am not a fan of the Beast Machines Night Scream. Number one, totally out of scale. It is like this big and everyone else is this big. Number two, I'm not a fan of the sculpt and the design. The face, the hair, it's just not doing it for me. Not a cool design. You know, and look, there's a lot of cool Bat Transformers, but he ain't one of them. Number three, fragile as hell. That clear orange plastic is brittle as crazy as it is now. But here's the thing, it's not a GPS situation. It was brittle back then. It would break easily even back then. And then he had some weird, like, you know, chest, you know, missile gimmick thingy, which is, you know, it's cool on depth charge, but I don't know. Not a good toy. Not a good toy. 3 strikes, you're out on that one. Expensive for what? For what? For it to not even make sense with all your other figures. It was like the Metroplex of the Beast Machines line or something. It just was totally out of scale. What do you think of a War for... do you think we will see a War for Cybertron Buzzsaw? Maybe. Maybe. That's something that I think, like, if they want to revisit in Hasbro Pulse, we'll see it or something. Even though Beast Machines figures aren't good quality, I have a soft spot for the bootleg Op Primal because it's one of my favorite Transformer figures. I have that bootleg Optimus Primal. It's in the other room, and it is a gorgeous, ugly figure because it's probably the most accurate. Yeah, Happy Meal Night Scream is better. It has like this weird like stance. He's kind of like this for some reason. But yeah, that's a way better figure. All the Happy Meal McDonald's Beast Machines are pretty awesome. Those ones I don't hate. Even Thrust, he comes with this like cool little stand and everything. Do you have G1 Huffer with the Brazilian colors? No, I do not have a lot of those South American ones. I'm slowly starting to collect those. Trying to get all of them. They get a little pricey, those. They get a little pricey. But I love G1 Huffer. I love all the mini-bots. Mini-bots are always cool. Cliff Jumper and Huffer and Pipes and Outback I love. Brawn I love. Like Outback and Brawn are two like guys I really like. And Cliff Jumper 2 also is kind of up there also. Pretty cool dudes. When do you think we will get an update on Earthrise Thrust? I think we'll learn sooner or later. I feel like Thrust is going to be a Generation Selects or something like that kind of release. That's just my gut feeling. I know people won't like to hear it, but I have this gut feeling. I'm worried that that's how they're going to go about it. Or some kind of store exclusive. It's going to be one or the other. Watch this. How come Beast Wars 2 and Beast Wars Neo were created instead of airing Season 2 and Season 3 of Beast Wars right away? Because Japan doesn't like reruns. So when Season 1 of Beast Wars ended, instead of having reruns because Season 2 and 3 of our show wasn't ready in time, they just put those instead to buy time until Season 2 and 3 would become Beast Wars medals. Japan likes 26 episode or 52 episode or 13 episode syndication. And they don't like reruns. They just boom, 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 let's go. And if they have to put something else in the meantime, they will. And that's what Beast Wars 2nd and Neo was. It was filler. It was good filler, but it was filler. What is the best Transformer toy line today? Well, we have a lot of choices. I would go with what's going on right now with Earthrise. I mean, I can't say these guys, you know. I was talking about it on my Twitter. Look at it. It goes right through the plastic. You can see. Like, RC is so much better than Hot Rod of the deluxes, and I am almost convinced it was made of a completely different plastic and factory. I don't know. I love Cyberverse, but the toys really needed to be better. Wouldn't it be cool if Hasbro mixed Beast Wars Neo, Beast Wars 2nd characters, the Beast Wars gang for the next? Of course, I would love to see. I would love to see, like, you know, Tasmanian Kid, Snarl. I would love to see Baboom, Apache. I would love to see Big Convoy. I would love to see, you know, Polar Claw, aka his brown bear colors in Survive. I would love to see all of that. I would love to see a non-GPS Randy from Razor Beast, and then you could get a Razor Beast repaint and a Randy repaint that isn't made out of GPS. But yeah. Do you think we'll get a Generation Selects repaint of Studio Series 86 figures into Jazz, into Ricochet? Oh, you know they're not going to waste those molds. You know it. Hasbro never just sits on a mold and just goes, oh, we're going to do nothing with it. We got a super chat from Leon Primal. Sorry I'm late. It's okay. Better late than never, man. Better late than never. But yeah, you know they're not going to waste those molds. Hasbro very rarely does something, like does a mold and just does the one singular release. They always find some way to get an extra run out of it. You're not going to do all that R&D, all that tooling, all that work and everything just to like only do one release. You will not. There are rumors that Earth Mode, Sideswipe, and Red Alert. There are rumors of Earth Mode, Sideswipe, and Red Alert. You think it's still possible? Well, I think at this moment, no. There's not the slots for it unless it appears in Studio Series 86, and I don't even think there's the slots for that. But yeah. Pertaman, do you have an insider info on why Galactic Odyssey set number 2 was pushed back? Look what's happening in the world right now, brother. Everything is coming from the other side of the globe, and the other side of the globe is in just as much dismay as this side of the globe. We're in a different place. We're in a different time. Everything's going to be slow right now. Just recently, Hasbro and their Magic the Gathering division with Carta Monday, which is based in Japan, they had to delay all their stuff too. So even Japan is affected, Vietnam is affected. It's a tough time right now. But that's why we have the streams, at least. Because at least with the streams we could hang out and talk Transformers. The streams were born because of this. You think we'll get a Burning Convoy repaint of Optimus Primal? I think so. I think 200%. 200%. Larkin's Lair, thank you for the super chat, my brother. Appreciate your last video and your stance. I guess you're talking about the stolen toy video. I didn't want to have to do it, but people were ignorant. And there was a lot of apologies in the comments, and I have a lot of respect for people that were willing to listen and understand what's going on in the world. But, you know, a lot of crazy stuff. We got another super chat by Quick Randy. It bothers me. McDonald's Black Arachnia is clearly tarantulas. On another note, I think I'll get all the King the Beast Wars figures as they come. I guess you're referring to the Transmetal Black Arachnia, the one that had like the orange arms and the purple legs. Yeah, it does look like a little bit like tarantulas, but I think that was probably a trademark thing. I think they were just kind of going like, "Oh boy, we need to use the Black Arachnia trademark." And Tarantulas already has a Transmetal toy in the Transmetal line. That's one way I could look at it. Perhaps, maybe. I don't know the timeline back then, really. I mean, it was, let's see, McDonald's toy line was 97, I think, or 98. I remember picking those up. I was at a mall when I picked all of those up. I was with my friend when I picked them up. I have some of them sealed because I always bought 2 of every one of them. But yeah, guys, guys, I just want to say one thing. You don't have to unsubscribe to those reviewers, okay? My goal wasn't to really drag them through the mud. The thing is that there was people that were getting angry because I wasn't crediting them. And here's the thing. I'm not going to credit someone that steals stuff. That's it. That's it. I'm going to screen cap your stuff and talk about it, but I'm not going to credit you. You know, you might say, oh, wrongs don't make a right, but look, I'm not going to credit guys who steal stuff. That's it. I will credit all the other dudes. I always will, but I won't do that. And then people got huffy about it, and then they didn't understand. Like, well, what do you mean they're stealing stuff? So I had to explain it to people. And this is something that's been going on since 2009. And I thought we fixed this problem, and now there's dudes paying off poor Vietnamese workers all over again and creating a problem. And people think like, oh, well, what does it matter to you? Look, here's what's going to happen. They're going to get caught, the Vietnamese workers. They're going to get fired. They're going to have to move it to a different factory like they did in the past. They moved it from, in China, when they were in China, they had to move it from Jeddah to the other company, which is Guodong or whatever. You know, all those people are going to lose their contract. They're all going to get moved. They're all going to lose that contract of Transformers, move to another division, possibly lose their jobs. All because some dude on YouTube wants to get more views than everyone else in a first. Look, I'm not in the YouTuber reviewer game. It doesn't affect me. I don't care. If I was in the YouTube reviewer game still, then maybe it might affect me. But even then, I didn't review new toys. I didn't really care about that. But, I mean, how it affects is that it's just morally wrong. But I wasn't going to attack them. I wasn't going to publicly attack them. I was just going to not credit them when I talked about stuff. That's all. That's how it works, yo. That's how it works. That was my call, you know? If he has a problem with it, I'm at every convention. You could talk to me face to face, brother. No problem. I don't mind talking to you face to face. But let's just say the results might not be to your favor. I'd rather watch reviews of finalized products, so I never subbed those folks. It's not attacking them, okay? It's not attacking them. It's just that, look, you want to watch them, that's cool, that's your prerogative. But you got to understand what's going on. That's it. That's all it is, really. I want people to know what's going on. That's all it is. Stolen product, seedy stuff, and nothing to be proud of. You know what I mean? Nothing to be proud of. No respect there, especially. Let's get back to some good stuff instead of some crap stuff. For the TF RED line, why doesn't Hasbro use interchangeable hands? I'm actually surprised by that because I was kind of expecting them to do something very similar to the Mega SEF PVC line that used to exist back in 2002, where they had interchangeable hands, interchangeable accessories. I'm very shocked by that. I really am. I think it was maybe because they wanted to keep the costs down. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe because there's more paint in these figures. I have yet to handle one in person. So when I handle one in person, I'll be able to really understand what's going on. Especially when I put it like shout out to David Cabal. Like if I put it like next to one of the classified G.I. Joe figures, or one of the Marvel Legends figures, or one of the the Black Series figures. You know, it's something where when I get my hands on it, I'll be able to get a better idea of, oh, okay, here's what's molded in plastic, here's what's painted, you know, paint applications. I'll get a better idea of the budget and what they're trying to do there. But I mean, as it stands right now, you know, you could buy RED Optimus Prime for the same price as like a Voyager Optimus Prime from like Siege. And to me, it's like one has way more parts and way more going on and R&D and transformation. The other one is just kind of a figure. So there's some things in RED that's going to catch my attention, like really show accurate figures like RC, and you know, Cheetor's just different enough that it kind of interests me. But I mean, how many times am I going to own a perfect Soundwave when I own the Masterpiece? I own the Masterpiece twice. I own the Japanese one and the American one. Do I need the RED one? If I get it for $1, if I get it on clearance, sure, I'll buy it and I'll put it proudly in my display. But I'm not going to pay full price. Not going to happen. RD line should have been perfect. Yes, that's Horned Owl. That's exactly what I was saying. It should have been a 6-case figure assortment with a Build-A-Figure, which would have been a huge incentive for people to buy everyone in the line instead of just picking and choosing. And it should have been like, okay, six-case assortment, Devastator. 5-case assortment, any combiner team. Or a city former or something. Or, you know, even a larger figure. Like, do like, I don't know, like a Jetfire or something. Season 1 Jetfire. I think that was a wasted opportunity that they could have really done. They could have really done that. Maybe it'll be in future waves. Maybe they'll wise up to it. But, you know, at the same time, if people are just picking up Soundwave and ignoring Megatron and Optimus, and then those linger on the shelves, or if RC doesn't sell well, or if Cheetor doesn't sell well because we have a Kingdom Cheetor, why would you buy that one? You know, there's always something that might derail the line. Not to mention also, when you're talking like there's like the planned stuff that's been leaked online from Walmart is we're going to have a redeco of Optimus Prime, a Seeker Jet, which is going to be Starscream, and Knockout from Prime. If those don't sell well, who knows? Oh, what up, Mike? A lot of people coming in now. But yeah, that's just, you know, that's just the name of the game. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens in that line. You know, it's the sad thing is we have this like backup excuse because of how retail is right now, because of all the craziness in the world. But at the same time, we'll see what happens. Hey, Pro Man, I just weighed my RED Megatron and Siege Optimus. Op weighs 160 grams. Okay. And Megatron weighs how much? Megatron weighs 59 grams. Well, there you go. Because it's more solid plastic. They probably like mold. Like, you have to understand, like, a lot of these figures, they're pretty hollow. Where I imagine like stuff like these ones, you know, they're a lot more solid all through and through. There's no like hollow point really on them. So they're obviously going to weigh the same, but there's more to it. There's the R&D. There's the whole other factor. You're getting more of a figure in a lot of ways, but it's the same price. You know, and you know, whatever. It is what it is. Yeah, RC has the interchangeable hands, or little gun hands, which is going to be probably common with every single Prime toy. See, Proto Silver, if Robots in Disguise was put on one of the worst lists, they probably never watched Car Robots. You know, Car Robots was really good, actually. Very, you know, brave, you know, Japanese brave series. And, I mean, Robots in Disguise, any of the Unicron trilogy stuff, watch it in Japanese. Car Robots, Robots in Disguise, not part of Unicron trilogy, but look, my rule is, if it was made in America, like made for the American audience, you watch it in that language. You know, Beast Wars was made in Canada, watch it in English. You know, the Beast Wars Neo and Beast Wars Second was made in Japan, watch it Japanese with subtitles. Unicron Trilogy was made in Japan, you watch Unicron Trilogy in Japan. That's always how I view it, every time. Hey man, that Baron's figure, I couldn't find it here either. Shout out to David Cabal, man, he hooked me up with one. Because there's no way I would have found one here in Canada. No way I could have found one. Yeah, Car Robots was amazing, and Car Robots has the best Transformers intro theme of all time, and I will fight anyone on that one. I love that theme song. Do you think the Cyberverse toys were a success for Hasbro? I don't think so. I think they were a middle of the line success, and they were lucky that stuff like you know, not Unicron Trilogy, War for Cybertron, and the beginning of you know, the beginning of the Studio Series stuff, they really carried the weight and success. Where I think there's a reason why Cyberverse TV series just kind of got discontinued and everything ended very quickly. Those toys did not sell. Those toys did not sell, and it was too late to do a deluxe line to really make a difference. And then, man, they tried with so many gimmicky stuff. They tried with the voice activated stuff with kids and the Energon armors and all kinds of gimmicks. They did the tiny turbo changers and the blind pack stuff, and none of it was catching. None of it. A lot of it was finding itself sitting in retail, getting on clearance. Where when did you ever see clearance stuff for like a studio series, unless it was what's his name there from the Bumblebee movie. Oh my God, I'm blanking right now. You had Shatter, and then you had Shatter, and why am I forgetting his name? He was a super crazy shelf warmer. There were so many of him. He was like the only time. Dropkick, thank you, Larkin. Dropkick was like the only time in years I've seen a shelf warmer toy from Transformers. It was the last time I've seen that. And it says a lot where but when you look at Cyberverse, there was so much stuff that was lingering behind. At least look, I'm in a big metropolitan city. I used to visit many Toys R Us's and many Walmarts, and I would see what's on the pegs. And Cyberverse just wasn't moving. Cyberverse just was not moving. Well, Josh, is going to be RED Bumblebee. I think it's going to be a G1 one. So hopefully we'll get a very Fluoro Deary accurate G1 Bumblebee with his little pistol. Be pretty cool. Maybe he'll come with a little spike or something. I'd rather have a white or red Cheetor repaint in Generation Selects. So you want like Cataclysm, which was going to be a BotCon exclusive. Or you want, what was the other one there? It was also a BotCon exclusive, not Lifeline. CatScan. You want CatScan, which was the Beast Machines repaint. That was, I think that was Wendell's first BotCon exclusive, was CatScan. Jaws D. Hey, we'll get an Antagony if we get an Inferno. They'll do an Antagony repaint. They'd love to do that. Get another female character out there. Can Energon downshift transform while keeping his spoiler on? Yeah, it could be done. It could be done. It could stay on. At least that's what I remember. Luckily for Canadians, the Cobra Island stuff is coming to Toys R Us. Well, that's awesome then. Maybe I could return the favor. Do you think we will get an Artfire? I'm surprised we didn't get an Artfire. I'm surprised we didn't get a Masterpiece Artfire, because that would have been such an easy repaint, but I guess maybe the Inferno mold didn't sell well. Aside from dubbing, are there plot differences from the Japanese-American Unicron trilogy? 200% yes. Major differences. Major differences. I don't want to spoil it, but yes, there's a lot. Character differences, character development differences, the way the characters are depicted differences. There's a lot going on. Like Energon, there was one whole episode that was supposed to be a celebration of Transformers' 500th episode in Japan, and it was supposed to be a special. In the American dub, it was just like a throwaway joke episode. Like, there's a lot of differences. A lot of differences. So, and thanks again for the super chat, by the way, the Podski. But yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot. I could have swore that there was a Masterpiece Artfire. You're probably thinking of Generations. I think he even came with a Target Master. You're thinking Generations. What are your thoughts on the packaging? Do you keep it or toss it? It really depends. Like, to give an example, right? Stuff like Siege or Earthrise or stuff like that, there's not really much going on with the packaging that's worth keeping, so I toss it. Same thing, like, unless it's the deluxes of Cyberverse, those I've been keeping the packaging. But otherwise, like the regular ones, I've been tossing. I know the Beast Wars ones, though, of like Kingdom, those are too sexy to toss, so I'm probably not going to get rid of those. A lot of card backs I just toss. I just return it back to the earth. Just really more pricey stuff, vintage stuff, masterpieces, those are the ones I keep the boxes. Yeah, see, Siege box is not really worth. You know, it's look, if you like the art, you know, like if you really like, because the thing with Siege is most of the art is alt modes. So if you really like that art, I mean, it's not like you're keeping bios anymore. There's no more bios. You know, you're not learning anything anymore. You know, battle mode sold separately. I mean, Battle Master sold separately. There's your bio. You know, there's not much, and then the same generic art on the side. So it's really like, you know, what are you keeping it for? I always say, like, you know, this takes space already in your collection. By keeping this box, now you're taking more space in your collection. So it's not really worth it. And when you have something of this scope, you don't have space for stuff like this to take space in your collection. You need space for this. So that's a little piece of advice. I think I did a segment about it once. I think someone asked. It was a Patreon listener question. You think there's a reason why Jazz doesn't appear so much? He does appear quite a bit. It's a matter of finding the right place to put it. Look, he was in the 2007 movie. He was in animated. You know, they skipped out on him in Prime. But then, you know, he was in the Transformers War for Cybertron video game. He even got a toy in that, so he was featured in that. Jazz has his places. He does. He does. There's always like a trade-off. Just, you know, sometimes he's gone, sometimes he's there. They got to balance it. You know, who needs a new trademark refresh? We got to do that toy. You know? Well, everyone tries to do Scatman's voice, Michael. You know? You got to do Scatman's voice. It's classic. Scatman Crothers is Jazz's legendary. Proto, do you think we will get a special 3-pack considering the 2 sweeps and Cyclonus like we did with the Platinum Edition? So if you're referring to Studio Series 86 doing something like that, well, here's the thing. The sweeps would be Voyager scale. So having 2 sweeps and a Cyclonus in a box set, that's going to be very pricey. That's going to be very, very pricey. So I'd have to say no on that one because that would be a very pricey box set. I could see them doing a sweep standalone, and then people could army build that. They just give it like a slightly different color scheme, maybe like a different, like a lighter grayish blue. But I don't see them doing a box set. That would be very pricey. Even like his Armada, like doing it in purple, that'd be really pricey. Hey Proto, just want to say thanks for being a good, reliable source of news on YouTube. Not to knock the forums, but it could be confusing to navigate. Look, you know, thank you, man. Thank you. Look, the forums are a good place too, but just, you know, sometimes it gets messy. I do agree. Sometimes, you know, also, like, I've said this many times, the Transformer fandom has so many different walks of life now. You know, when it's a 35-year brand now at this point, you have so many different age groups arguing and talking over each other that sometimes, you know, forums could be a little messy. Where, you know, I've been a voice in this fandom since 1997, so a very long time, making me feel old. So it's at least 23 years online. So I like to feel that, you know, some people feel that it's a reliable source to learn things and information, especially when I've lived, you know, most of it and worked with companies and stuff like that. But thank you for the kind words. They could do a Scourge in Generation Selects, make him an army. Yeah, make an army builder sweep. That's what I was saying. Like, they could do like a Voyager, and then the crazy people that want to pay the Voyager prices and just belt that stuff out. You know, that's crazy if they want to build it. You know, buy 2 of them, I guess. You know, 1 Scourge and it can be flanked by 2 sweeps or something. And his Armada, you know, Cyclonus mold. Do you think the Kingdom Commander class figure? Who do you think the Kingdom Commander class figure will be? We don't. We know it won't be a Beast Wars character. We have some suspicion that it'll be Rodimus Prime because of the trailer. What do you think? The rumors were that Rodimus was going to be a leader class. There's nothing saying that it's not a Beast Wars character. There's nothing saying that it's not a G1 character. We have no information that says otherwise, just rumors and innuendo and all of that. Some people like see, Joe here says tidal wave. I personally, like, if I had to take a guess, it would be kind of cool to see Magnaboss or Tripredacus Agent, but that kind of goes outside of the Season 1, Season 2, not Tripredacus Agent, Tripredacus Combiner team. It would be kind of cool to see them, but, at least, if you have Tripredacus, at least that stays true to the show. But then what would they be doing on Earth? Did they come down instead of Ravage to take care of Megatron? Yeah, I can see they could write that in. That could be the time paradox. They don't send Ravage. They come themselves to finish the job. Could be cool to see. Can't wait to see how Studio Series backdrops turned out. Yeah, it's going to be cool how the boxes are. I'm really curious. I wonder if they'll do like an old school G1 style. Much like they did with Beast Wars, where it really was kind of like that Beast Wars style. Michael wants to know, Proto Man, for the Transformers War for Cybertron Kingdom line, does Takara Tommy have any input on the Beast Wars 2 or Beast Wars Neo? Everything they do together, they do with Takara Tommy. All of the packaging today has both companies on them. So everything is not just done individually. There's that whole thing where it used to be back in the day, Hasbro did one thing, Takara did another. Now everything is done together in synergy, and usually what they just do, like, they'll just like slap a sticker on it in Japanese and change the instructions on the inside. But otherwise, they talk together. So all the decisions that they make those decisions based on what will work for both sides of the ocean. But Tripredacus wasn't Season 1. Yeah, I know. But that's why, like, it was a Season 2 kind of thing, and just that one thing, and that's it. So I would like combiners, but at the same time, I don't know if that'll happen. That's the thing. The leaker informed us that the Titan and Commander will be G1 characters, and heavily implied that Rodimus is the Commander class figure. Well, we will see. Different leaks were saying leader class. Now they're saying, this guy's saying commander. We'll see. It's one of those things that I'll cross that bridge when that time comes, and I'll talk about it when that happens. I'll give my educated opinion on what I see. But there's a lot of guys that there's people that have contacted me that they have like insider information. And it's like something that they heard from a guy that they heard from a guy that they heard from a guy, and it's broken telephone. What's up with the recent disconnect between Hasbro and Takara over the recent years? Bobby Skullface was talking about it once, but I don't think he went into detail. What disconnect are you referring to exactly? There's actually quite a connect, if anything. I don't know what would the disconnect be. Because they're actually working in synergy together quite well, outside of Masterpiece, which is really its own thing, And Masterpiece only doesn't have an American audience outside of MPM, the Masterpiece movie stuff, but the other Masterpiece stuff, just because there's no retailer that wants to carry it. Toys R Us was the retailer that would carry Masterpieces, no problem for Hasbro when they were imported, but when Toys R Us went away in the United States, that was the end of that. Again, outside of movie Masterpieces. Who do you think is in Kingdom Wave 2? I'm hoping Scorponok. I'm hoping Waspinator. I'm hoping Tigatron. The rest of Season 1, pretty much. Commander class should be depth charge. That would be cool. He'd be a little big, but that would be cool because, unless those wings are massive behind him, or if they give him like some extra accessories or something. I don't think he's that huge. Like, Depth Charge really worked as an Ultra class with the old toy line in terms of scale with everybody. And Ultra class is, like a small leader still at the end of the day. Like a large Voyager small leader. So Hasbro Plus appears to be carrying Masterpiece for American buyers. Yeah, but I'm saying more from like a retail standpoint. Like, when you have retail, you're moving more product. When you have Hasbro Pulse and its direct market, you're actually just focusing on a very niche market of people. It's very hyper-focused. That's why so much stuff sells out on Hasbro Pulse, because they don't have crazy numbers of it. They don't have, like, look, when you're talking, let's say, Masterpiece Soundwave, right? I think it was like one of the first, like the purple box Masterpiece that was available here in America. You know, you're talking easily 10,000 to 20,000 units across all the Toys R Us's in America. There's not 10,000 units of anything at Hasbro Pulse. Everything that's kind of a limited direct nature is probably maybe 1,000 to 5,000 units at most. At most. So it's smaller numbers, it's smaller margins. It's a different animal completely. If Commander Class had been Beast Wars, shouldn't have been Optimal Optimus or Transmetal 2 Megatron? That's kind of jumping the gun. Wouldn't you want to save that for like later? I have an idea for a deluxe transmutate. So did the Transformer Collector Club back in the day. What are the chances we'll see a Beast Wars Optimus Primal captured by the Vox set? With a floating Unicron head? I don't know. Probably not. Or if you want to do the pod, the little pod there, that people unofficially say that was the link between the Beast Wars second movie and the Beast Wars TV show, which was he was in the pod and his body and soul was sent away, and that's when the Beast Wars second movie happened with Lio Convoy. What are the odds of a generation-style Magmatron? Not saying it would have to be this year. It'd be cool. The Magmatron trademark has been long gone for many years, I'll say that much. But it would be cool. But because that trademark doesn't exist anymore, a lot less of a chance, unless they re-trademark it. But there hasn't been any movement. So, Commander Class Magin Zarek. That would be cool. That would be the first time for that figure. Would make a lot more sense, but probably not because of the trademark. Desaurus Commander Class. Another one. That was one that I was saying, like, if you took... I think I did a tweet about it a while back. Let me post that tweet. Where was it? I know I posted that tweet a while back. Where was it? Ah, yeah, there we go. I was always saying, like, that might happen with Double Dealer. I always felt like maybe down the line that might be the case. That they might do something with Double Dealer. But what do you think Kingdom Wave 1... When do you think Well, the rumor is that it's supposed to be late December, early January is the street dates. But every place is its own animal. I had this discussion, I think, on the Discord. Like, you have to understand, like, if there's a Walmart and they have the cases of Kingdom and that Walmart's pegs get all eaten up and everyone buys everything, they might break street date just to have something in their Transformer section. So, and that happens all the time. That's why you always hear about, oh, hey, this Walmart in the UK got this figure line before everyone else, or this, this Toys R Us in Canada, like, they got these toys before everyone else, because it's all individual stories. Each different location has different stock, and sometimes they put out product beforehand. The official release date is between December and January of next year, but you never know. You never know. Do you think we might get a new Unicron other than HasLab? After that trademark is going to be coming around, yeah, there'll be some kind of new Unicron something. But it might be a tiny figure. It might be a giant figure. But we will get something. That's the rule. If there is a trademark to be saved, there's a toy to be made. Hey, Protoman, do you think we will get a proper Kranix figure at some point? I think so. I think so. I think sooner or later we'll get something. I think by doing that little figure, it keeps the trademark, or creates the trademark, and then keeps the trademark, and then down the line they could, do like, the one that if anyone who read the original Marvel Comics, the adaptation of the '86 movie, Kranix actually transforms into a ship. So maybe we'll get something that kind of is true to that. we'll see. You think Hasbro will do commander classes more obscure characters in HasLab? I don't think they'd use HasLab for something like Star Saber or Thesaurus. HasLab really is for like that big marketing tool. Like, hey, this is our product. This is a well-known character. Think about if Unicron, and we know he was expensive, but if Unicron couldn't pull the 8,000, and I firmly believe still to this day that it never got the 8,000, they fluffed it up. I firmly believe that. But if Unicron barely was able to do that, obscure characters like Star Saber and Thesaurus, they better have some low numbers that they're expecting. And I love Transformer Victory and those guys. But I'm just being honest, from a mainstream money-spending world, they better hope so. There is a lot of Transformer collectors that don't have credit cards, that don't have bank accounts, that rely on allowance and very simple jobs in order to get their product. That's a whole different generation. And those guys who don't have credit cards will not be able to partake in that kind of stuff. That's why, look, that's why there's so many people that get angry when there's Hasbro Pulse exclusives and stuff like that. Because a lot of those guys who get angry, they don't got a credit card. They legit don't have a credit card to buy online. They, you know, like someone like me, it's like, oh, I could just buy it online then. Like, it doesn't make a difference to me. My only disadvantage is because I'm Canadian and shipping is terrible. But at the end of the day, I really don't think that they'll make it a HasLab thing. I don't. HasLab stuff has to be iconic. It has to be stuff that works not just for the hardcore fan, but for every fan. Yeah, shipping costs are madness for us. I'm on the moon. I'm actually reporting from the moon. That's why shipping is so expensive. Oh man, I don't have my bill with me. I have my bill from Wizards of the Coast. Like shipping for 5 trading cards was $29.99. 5 trading cards was $29.99 American. Do you know what $29.99 American buys a Canadian? Buys me a lot, and that was my shipping. You're also in Quebec with no shipping zones. Yeah, well, that's a whole other story. Ben oui, c'est stupide. I don't want to swear in French. Maybe YouTube will flag me there too, but yeah, it's nuts. HasLab Arc playset right after they give us the Arc. I don't know about that. That's flying a little too close together. Does that buy you 100 chicken nuggets? Actually, 20 nuggets is $11.99 Canadian. So, nope, it doesn't even buy you 100 chicken McNuggets. You're the best proto man for exposing selfish, foolish people that get and steal Transformers from factories. The first to review it. Sickening, although, look, my goal wasn't really to call out those guys. My goal was to point out what's going on in the world today. You know, sorry, someone's closing. What was I saying? My goal was just to point out something that used to go on back in 2009, and it was kind of frustrating that it was happening. And today, you know, it's happening again. Well, now the borders are closed. Event propagator, progenitor. Like it's not easy right now. We used to, when I used to buy like really small stuff. Like to give an example, here, this is a very good example. So these were done by Han Cholo. These were pins of Transformers. They were done, I want to say, 2 years ago, and I really wanted these. And the pins were, I think, how much were they? They were like $11.99, which, okay, sure, hot rod pin, I'll deal with it. Fine, okay. But the shipping was for 2 pins. 2 pins. The shipping to my location was $40. $40 for something that goes in a bubble envelope. So I shipped it to TFCon's P.O. Box, which we have a P.O. Box in the States. And, you know, like, the shipping to the P.O. Box was nothing. The shipping to Canada was like we're on the moon. So I use the P.O. box sometimes, but I don't want to have to use it, especially now with how crazy everything is. And I don't know when's the next time I'm going to be back in Toronto, which is where like we gather all the P.O. box items. Shout out to Ian who helps us out with the P.O. box and everything. Like, man, it's not easy. It's not easy. And it's frustrating in a lot of ways because a lot of times when I try to buy stuff, like small cheapy stuff, trading cards, pins, stuff like that, the shipping costs more than the item. So, I mean, but that's a rant for a Canadian. That's a whole other factor. That's a whole other factor. But yeah, either way. Do we have any more questions? Because we're coming up on 10 o'clock, 2 hours. Canadian problems, yeah. We'll answer a few more questions and then we'll call it a night, guys. And once again, if you want, go to symbiotestudios.com. Got to do some ads. symbiotestudios.com. Get some t-shirts, get some plush. We have a promo code. When you check out Protoman, you get $5 off your order. Check that out. If you want to support the podcast, patreon.com/Protoman or hit that join button. You can join us there too. Do you think we'll see a Transformers Power Ranger crossover? I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen more, especially now that John Warden of the Transformers brand is on the Power Ranger side. I think it's going to happen. I did a segment on Transformers. I think it was a listener question where I talked about what if Power Rangers and Transformers crossed over. Do you prefer the Bayverse designs or the Bumblebee movie designs? Well, they each have their own purpose, but I lean more towards the Bumblebee movie designs because I think that's what we all wanted from day one. I mean, not many people, I feel, would prefer, like, let's say, movie Bay design to, like, movie Optimus Bay design. But I don't know, maybe some people are different. I gave, like, a huge, by the way, like Michael, the Power Ranger crossover, I did this huge segment where I talked about, like, how Power Rangers and Transformers could cross over and how it's a multiple segment thing. And it could go all the way to, like, Power Rangers Turbo, the story. Like, you could do it, like the same continuity, like Mighty Morphin, Zeo, everything. And have the Transformer story run alongside it with a crossover. It's good stuff. Symbiote makes good stuff. Yeah, check out their stuff, guys. symbiotestudios.com. Again, use my promo code PROTOMAN. I'm going to post it. I'll post it in the replays of this. I'll post it in the description so people can get discounts. It's in the, Michael, I think it's in the listener questions. Just look for the thumbnail that has Power Rangers in it. That'll probably be the best way to tell. But it was a really fun segment because I really fleshed out like what I would feel could be a cool story with that. Does this mean Jungle Fury was Predacons? Maybe. I like Geki Ranger. I like the Japanese version. Protoman, what's your toy review channel? Back in the day, I did a toy review channel. It's called Proto Retro. Just type Protoman Proto Retro. It'll pop up on YouTube. I still once in a while post stuff on there, but it's really only when there's a toy I really, really want to talk about. I'm probably going to be doing more non-Transformer stuff on there just for fun. I never really did it for the views or for the AdSense or for the revenue. I just did it because sometimes I'd get a really cool toy and I just wanted to talk about it. You know, like, and I find that, like, one day I would love to do like a whole line of, like, just whole, like, obscure 90s toy lines. Like, let's do all Street Sharks. Let's do all, you know, Botsmaster or, you know, Shadow Raiders, you know, War Planets, stuff like that. One day I'll return to that when I have more time. I think if another lockdown happened and I wouldn't be able to go to work, maybe I'd do some stuff there too. I'd put out some new stuff for people to enjoy. Rumor Core Class Soundwave and Kingdom. I could see that. He was on that poster. So I could see that happening. Out of all the figures within the last few years that has been base mode, excluding City Formers, what base mode figure is your favorite? Grandis will always be my favorite. I love Grandis. Let me get you Grandis. Oh, it's going to be tough to reach Grandis. He's a little tough to reach. Let's see if I don't knock over stuff. One moment. Oh my god, because he's a brick. Let me show you Grandis. It'll be easier that way. Let me show you Grandis. It's a lot easier just to do it that way. How do I flip the camera? I won't even be able to see conversation. Grandis. I love Grandis and all the mini bots and everything. Everybody is Grandis. I want another Grandis because he's just this big city cube and he has a working elevator and a nice road. I always love Grandis. Yeah, they're all marked made for kids because when Kappa happened, that's how it is, yo. My channel technically is made for kids, but that's how it is. And I wasn't going to lie to them because people who are kids do watch my stuff. You know, there's other people that they go, oh, my channel's made for adults only. But I will admit there was people who were watching my videos about tiny turbo changers that were under 18. So, say someone was to rob you in your collection, but leave you with just one product line of your choice. What would it be? G1. That way they wouldn't have stole all my valuable stuff. That way they didn't make off with Grandis or Minerva, you know, or my lucky draws. Whoa, we got a huge super chat. Thank you, Joseph. 50 bones. I should buy you Chipotle. I went to Chipotle, major mistake, might die. Tell the world I love them. Should have went to Panda Express. Me and Josh said Panda Express. That's what you get, man. I don't like Chipotle. I don't know. That's one of those American unique chains that I'm not a fan of. There's so many good unique American chains. Why would you go to Chipotle? Thank you again, Joseph, for the donation. That's really cool of you, brother. He's getting food poisoning. I hope not. Now with 33% less anal leakage. That's what I think of when I think of Chipotle. I'm going to stick with my Asian food, thank you very much. Give me Panda Express any day. Or sushi, even. I miss having sushi. The new world we live in today ruined it. I can't have sushi anymore. Beta Whooper, do you want to hear something crazy about Yu-Gi-Oh? How many people like Yu-Gi-Oh here? They might appreciate this. So a friend of mine, he's not a toy collector. He's not a toy collector. He's not into geek culture. And he knows that I collect Magic the Gathering and Pokemon cards. And I have a little bit of Yu-Gi-Oh here and there. And he pretty much came to my house. He moved in with his girlfriend. They bought a dog. That's going to be their family. They bought this beautiful little Boston Terrier, gorgeous dog. And he pretty much came with a box of his childhood. And he's like, I want you to have it because you run conventions and you could do better with this. He doesn't see the value in it at all. And it was all his Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. Let me come back with one thing. One moment. So, you know, he had like figures and stuff. Obviously, he had cards too. I have all the cards here and everything. You know, nothing too valuable. But he had like, you know, Kaiba with like drawing action or something. You know, that's kind of cool. But this was the crazy thing he had. And I have to like set this up. Hold on. It's the dual disc launcher thing with working, you know, where you could play against a dude and you have your trap card and all that. So apparently I looked this up and this thing goes for like $100 now, and I felt so bad that he dropped it in my lap that I contacted him and I told him, I'm like, bro, you do realize that this thing that you had in the box is like worth a ton of money today. So what I'm going to do is when the convention season starts up again, we're going to try to sell it at one of my conventions and get him some cash now that he's moved out. But that was pretty cool. And the Kaiba was kind of cool too. This one, I'm almost tempted to keep it just because it's kind of like iconic, you know? Even though they should have put like paint on the cards. Look, he's just holding a nothing. You know, at least put a Blue Eyes White Dragon or something, no? Anyways. But yeah. So, but yeah, that was crazy. Like, he had that, and he had a lot of the little minifigs, too. Obviously, like, hold on, I'll just show you quickly, guys. Like, you know, some of the cards, you know, not a lot of, like, really valuable, crazy valuable stuff, but this and that. He collected during the first two or three couple years. He said he dropped off around Battle City. What else do we have here? This was all stuff. Same thing here, you know, like Yu-Gi-Oh guidebooks and everything. Like, that was his jam. That was his thing when he was, you know, when he was in elementary school and high school. That's what he really liked. He collected that hardcore and then got out of it. Some people don't stay geeks. They kind of get out of it, and he just came over. He said, "Here, bro. I don't need it anymore." You know? And I was like, all right, man. And then when I found out that some of that stuff was actually worth some money, I felt bad, and I contacted him. I was like, look, you know, like, you don't realize what you gave me here. Because I knew that the cards kind of tapered down in the value because me being in the trading card world, I know that Yu-Gi-Oh! Isn't as valuable as it used to be. I say bro a lot. I say brah and bro a lot. I apologize for that, but that's how I am. Beyblade, I have quite a few Beyblade stuff. I have a lot of Beyblade stuff. That was Hasbro stuff, so I was on top of all that. A lot of Beyblade stuff. OG stuff, metal stuff, oof, tons of Beyblade. Rare Japanese stuff, figurines, all kinds of crazy stuff with Beyblade. Do you own any Shadow Raiders merch? Tons of Shadow Raiders stuff. Tons and tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of Shadow Raider stuff. I would love to show you guys the other rooms, but then I wouldn't be able to talk to you guys. That's the problem, because it would disconnect me. I tried to once. I remember we tried to go into the game room, and I was too far away from the Wi-Fi, and I lost everything. If 22 makes you feel old, then how does that make me feel? Do you have Beyblade Burst? Yes, I do. I got to actually do the copyright for some Beyblade Burst stuff and write some stuff on the bios. Ooh, I don't have any around me that I worked on. But Excalibur, Vectrius, which one did I do too? What was that one there? The Knuckler. I'm going by the Japanese name, and then had to just write the copyright for it. Just like you know, like how they have like the little bios that show how one thing is stronger than the other. All that is bull. Like, we kind of test stuff, and then we go, oh, that one seems like it has more defense, I guess. You know? But yeah. How many figures in your collection have gold plastic syndrome? I don't know, a lot. I'd have to count. Whatever is. If it exists in Transformers and it has gold plastic syndrome, I probably own it. Let's put it that way. Have you played all the Pokemon games so far? Of the main line, yes. Of the subline stuff, some of it. Like, you know, Mystery Dungeon, Snap. I never played Rumble. The cell phone stuff, obviously, you know, I have Pokemon Go. Oh, I have another trait. So many text messages today. Spriggan Knuckler, thank you. Thank you. Did you order Nice? Yes, I did. Me and Ultra Primal really like that one. Dan, you need to add a Wi-Fi pod in your home if you're comfortable with that. If I was going to invest money in something, I would get a new computer so I could finally have like split screen chats and I could have guests that way. I really want to have like Jaws D on the podcast where we both have our cameras, or I want to get a good Wi-Fi kind of Wi-Fi camera that has like a screen on it, or maybe like a new laptop so like I could do the stream from the game room, and then we could do streaming from the game room, and I got video game stuff playing. Like I have like different ideas for the streams in the future. I have a lot of different ideas. Would be kind of cool. Would be really cool. Like just like us talking, and then I'm playing Street Fighter, and you could watch me playing Street Fighter while we're talking. That'd be cool. I remember years ago when I first bought this house, I did a stream and I was playing Street Fighter 4, and I was just like aiming the camera on the TV. That was really fun. We got a awesome super chat from Princeton Phalanx 59. He wants to know, is there any one place in your home that doesn't have any collection in it? Kitchen, bathrooms. Actually, bathrooms have stacks of comic books to read if you want. My living room's kind of boring. My dining room is kind of boring. My bedroom, next to my bed, I have stacks of comics and stuff. And I actually, you know what? In my bedroom, now that I think about it, I have like one Bionicle figure and a bunch of amiibos lining the walls, and that's it. There's actually not a lot of geek stuff in there outside of comics, obviously. But yeah, it's really confined to specific rooms. You know, like this is the Transformer room. There's a video game room. There's a manga comic book, like the miscellanea room. You know, I have one room that's dedicated just to my storage and stock for conventions. I call it the doubles room. That's the term that I use, the doubles room. But yeah, I think that I don't know. I think that's pretty much it. But yeah, we'll take one last run of questions, guys, and then we'll call it a night. It was so fun talking with everyone. We will do another. We'll do another contest. We'll do another giveaway next week. I don't know how long we'll. The Hasbro Symbiote Studios machine keeps churning out. We'll keep giving away stuff for people. Hopefully by next week I'll have some new stuff to show off, new shirts to wear, get people excited about all the cool stuff. But yeah, update on the Thieves situation. Yeah, that's their lives. Let them do what they want. I just wanted to point it out. I didn't want to point fingers. I didn't want to, get people unsubscribed or anything. I just wanted to say what's going on in the world and educate people, because people were coming at me. They were coming at me going like, how dare you say that? It's like, bro, you need to know what's going on right now. You really need to know what's going on. What figure are you looking forward to most in Kingdom? Let's say Shadow Panther. And maybe that Tigatron. I'm kind of curious how that's going to look. But Shadow Panther. A black repainted Cheetor. Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong. Before we go, what should we do before we go? What should we do before we go? Do you guys want to see anything before we go? Quickly. What's up, Rodimus Primal? Sing? What do you want me to sing? Japanese? Dylan? Like we sung the Messenger theme? Messenger Z? Do you have all the Titan class? I have all of them except Predaking. I never found Predaking cheap. Kiniku Man? Season 1 or Season 2? M-U-S-C-A-E muscle. 3, 2, 1. What was it? That was Season 3, I think. Fight on, Kinik Man. Something, 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 Japan Key. Na, 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 na. I think that's season 4. Cybertron theme, that's the rapping one. Mega Man X7 intro. I know the Japanese ones. We'll go for a walk. I'm not going to be able to see the comments, so we'll just go for a walk. Let's see, where will we go today? You know what, maybe we'll, how do I turn this around? Every time, it's a new learning experience for me. So here is, I call this the 18 feet of movie toys. I love this shot here. 18 feet of movie toys. There we go, we almost lost the internet there. See what happens when we fly too close to the sun? So, movie toys. So many movie toys. So many movie toys. Hey, there's Mr. Gold Plastic. I love that toy. So many bumblebees. So many movie toys. So many movie toys. And you got, like, you know, classics. So many hot rods. That beautiful pin. Exclusive pin. And you got the Galvatron one. He's so angry. Then all the special mini-cons. These were the cell phone exclusives. You had to get a cell phone in Japan to get those. Not a cell phone. Credit card in Japan to get those ones. That was ridiculous. And more of these wackos. I like this one here. This was the football exclusive Megatron. Where you had to get the shoes. Yeah, that was really cool. And how about a complete collection of bot shots? Bot shots. Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna have to move that display one day. Make space for other stuff. But yeah. Let's see. What else could we look at? I don't know. Maybe we'll go to the Unicron trilogy. Let's go to the Unicron trilogy just because the cool merch up there. Unicron trilogy merch. A lot of cool stuff up there. These are all like Japanese stuff. And then you have those were the Japanese festival exclusives. These were given to children, and then you had to paint them to colors of your choice. So I got the full set of those because I love Dualor. And you got the Power Ranger team of spark plugs. Everybody. Different variants and crazy stuff. But yeah. Anyways, do you have G1 Lyo Kaiser? Yeah, I do. That's the victory stuff there. How would a Unicron trilogy reboot do? Well, they would just have to keep that aesthetic and that concept, and that's the only way that it would not be G1. Best hot rod that is in Studio Series 86? Henkei version classics with the gold spoiler. And I stand by that one. I love that one. Such a good mold. Do you have Rambo Cody? Yes, I do. I had to buy that stupid box set to get it. That was expensive, that one, back in the day. That's when I was a completist, where I was like buying everything. United Rodimus, I'm not a fan of the colors. I have that one too. I'm not a fan of the colors. Is $20 reasonable for complete Unicron trilogy figures? Well, it depends which one. Some of them are actually worth more than that. Can we get a live chat with you and Rodimus Primal? You two seem very similar. How so? I don't think I've ever met Rodimus Primal, so I don't remember. If I have, I apologize. There's 2 Rodimus Primals. There's another one, too, in one of the message boards. I don't know if it's the same one. And I think there's a Rodimus Primal in the Discord chat, too. But I think that's a different Rodimus Primal. And then there's the Rodimus Primal BotCon custom figure from Baboom. But that's not a person, that's a toy. So, which was a really cool toy. Really cool custom. Do you have Prime First Edition RC Lucky Draw? No, I don't, but Azusa, who I go to TFCon with all the time, has one. He was asking $500. It's okay, Rodimus Primal. I don't have much hair on top of my head either. But yeah, I think Azusa was asking $500 for his US. I don't remember if someone bought it or not. I remember someone was going to buy it. Rodimus Supreme. There you go. God, there's so many Rodimuses. Then again, when you have a name like Proto Man, thank God I'm not in the Mega Man world. At least it's a good choice of character. $20 for a deluxe is pretty standard, I guess, as long as they're complete. What's some Holy Grail figures that have yet to nab? I would really like to get... Let me try to think of something that I'm still trying to find. I would like to get some of the more weird stuff. Like, I want to get... McDonald's did a limited run of G1, like, non-transformable little mini-bot figures. I'd like to start completing that, and I've slowly started to do that, but I've just kind of been distracted with other stuff recently. I wouldn't call that a Holy Grail, but it is something that I don't see a lot of often. In terms of Holy Grails, I don't know. My dad taught me to collect backwards, meaning like always get the rare stuff first. So a lot of that stuff I already got. A lot of that stuff I did. So, I don't know. I do not know, my friends. Do you have the Earthrise Quintesson Judge? Not yet, but I am getting it soon. I would like to get a Bumble Jumper. Yeah, I have that one. That one I got BotCon 2007, I think. BotCon 2007, BotCon 2008, I got that one. Got it for a good price, too. I think I got it for like $60 back then. Hey, Daniel, do you think Hasbro will do a new Primus figure to go along with Unicron? Here's a sad piece of news. Hasbro does not own the rights to Primus, the name, anymore. They don't have the trademark. That's why when they did, hold on, do I have the packaging for it? One sec. Oh, no, I don't. Ah, damn. So when they did, because it's a big box, so I still had it in the other room. When they did the Age of Extinction repaint of Primus, they called it Cybertron. So, Roman, please contact me through Twitter, okay? We'll handle everything. All right? For your winning prize. But yeah. So they don't have Primus right now, unfortunately. They could call him Rung. Why would you? Why would you want to call him Rung? Yeah. We'll go from this, you know? Go from this. Spoiler for anyone that doesn't know at this point. Then again, the comics are 2 years old, I think, at this point, so I think it's okay. Random question, do you think Prime still looks cool if the headlights became his pecs instead of windows? Kind of like War Within. I love the War Within design. I love... Don Figueroa War Within was knocking it out of the park, and it's sad that the Titaniums line was the best we pretty much got of those outside of third party, of course. So, like, I would have loved all of those designs to be revisited with modern, the modern aesthetic of production. Did Q Transformers Grimlock ever get released? I don't think so. I don't think so. I have a lot of Q Transformers. I loved those because they turned into real cars, and that's kind of my jam. Like Jazz turned into an '86 Corolla, which was so cool. No, I don't think Grimlock ever did come out. I always pick those up whenever I go to a con. I see like they're like $5 a piece. I pick them up. But yeah. Anyways, guys, we're gonna call it quits tonight. I think we had some fun, don't you think? Hope we did. Once again, if you want to support the podcast, patreon.com/protoman, or hit that join button down there. Come join us if you want to do it that way. If you have any questions, just save it for next time. I'll gladly answer everything. Once again, I'd like to thank our sponsors, Hasbro and Symbiote Studios, for hooking us up with all the cool stuff that we could sell and give away. Once again, if you want to pick up something and get a little discount, go to symbiotestudios.com. Use the promo code PROTOMAN. Get $5 off your order. What else could I say? But thanks again for coming, everyone. Thanks again for all the super chats. They're always appreciated. It's always nice to have a little tip jar. It shows I'm doing a good job. And I'll see you all again in 7 days. You know, we try to do this every weekend. And once again, thanks again. You guys are great. And I'll keep doing my best to keep you guys informed in this world. And as always, like I always say, roll out.